I'm Sarah Prescott and I work in special collections at the University of Leeds. I'm going to tell you about a very special item from our collections today. Now it looks like a book, but it's actually two letters that have been bound together. If we look at the title, we'll see the title reads Charlotte Bronte, a memento of her friendship with her future biographer, Mrs. Elizabeth Gaskell. Let's open the book. So you see you've got the book plate for Lord Brotherton. And we've got a very fancy calligraphy introduction. If we keep turning the pages, we'll eventually get to Charlotte Bronte's letter to her friend Mrs. Smith, describing her meeting with Gaskell. It actually describes a few other things. There's talk about quite an uncomfortable coach journey she took as well. It's quite a funny letter. But at the bottom here you see, the visit to Mrs. Gaskell formed a charming break in the journey. She is a woman of many fine qualities and deserves the epithet which I find is generally applied to her, charming. Her family, I'm going to turn the page here, consists of 4 little girls, all more or less pretty and intelligent. And she moves on to other topics. So it's not a very long letter, but that's her first description of meeting Elizabeth Gaskell. And if I move on through this book, I get to Gaskell's letter, which is one of many letters she wrote describing Charlotte Bronte. Now you can immediately see the difference in the styles and also the difference in the length of the letters. Gaskell's letter is incredibly long. It's very interesting to compare this with what Charlotte Bronte wrote. This is, as I said, a much longer letter which describes a visit that Gaskell made to James and Kay Shuttleworth. Charlotte Bronte was staying with them at the time, and this is the first time that she saw Charlotte Bronte, and she's absolutely fascinated by her. In this letter she describes Bronte in a lot of detail, and she's very she concentrates on how Bronte looks. She describes her complexion, the fact that all her teeth have gone, how shy she is. And then she goes on to describe in great detail everything she's heard about Bronte and what Bronte has said to her. So this is somebody who's very, very fascinated with the object of their letter. So it's a very interesting contrast between how the two letter writers treat their subjects. Something else that's very interesting is how these letters have been treated since they were written, in the years since. Looking at this book, we can see it's very finely bound with gold edging. This is a high value object. Letters were bound together to create something of quite significant financial value to the collector as well. So I think that's always something very interesting to think about, is the half-life of objects. What value has been placed on them in the time since their creation, and how does that affect how they come to us today?